Hey, how's it going? We are back for another stream. So, we're all good to go. We're all good to go. This one is about YouTube formats. So, we're going to use the term format maxing, and I'm going to break down what it is, if I can get my charger in, what it is, how it can help you win on YouTube, and why I think it's the best way to approach your YouTube channel going forward. And the reason being is with all of these changes that are happening, right? We have to make sure as YouTubers that we are staying ahead of the curve. Do you know what I mean? And if we don't stay ahead of the curve, we're gonna get caught out, and we don't want that. So format maxing is the way forward for your channel because it's your channel. I was having this discussion with my friend the other day. It's your channel. You can actually put out and build whatever you want. For example, tonight I am premiering my new show, Colossian Markets, live on this channel. So there's going to be 5 episodes, I believe. Let's have a little double check before we get stuck in. So as you can see here, if I just switch it over, right. So as you can see, we've got 3, 4, 5 brand new episodes to you, not brand new to me, but brand new to you. Let me move the chat over here that you can lock into. And this is one of my formats. I'll be honest with you guys, like this is probably the best format that I've come up with in my YouTube journey. And the reason being, and the reason why I say that is simply due to the fact that it just works. It allows me to be my analytical self, comedic self. It allows me to lock in on this creator economy and string together words, which is my background as a writer, musician, etc., that allows me to just create in the way I want and need to create. So when I came up with this concept, this format, 2 years ago, actually, 2024, it was just an idea. And again, I was searching for formats. I'm thinking, what can I do that is just really going to resonate, right? And something that I can just do by myself without having to depend on anyone and just really crank them out. And it turned out that this was the best format that I'd come up with in the past few years, hands down, because people need entertainment, right? And if you're trying to educate, which I do my best to do that on this channel, but a lot of the time you need to find a way to really get it to resonate. And I do believe, which I am going to do research probably in my next book, to be honest, as a 2027 project for sure. No title yet, but I definitely want to cover in the book about bias and how creators are read and perceived. Because I saw something, just a quick tangent, I saw something yesterday where this lady on TikTok literally had her content like ripped from her completely, like just stolen. Like the woman, another woman, it was a black lady who did the content, a white lady stole it, and she took this pitch word for word, verbatim, the mannerisms, everything. And that lady got more money from the brand deals than the black lady, which is obviously not cool. So having like your own format, having like your own code, if you will, is definitely going to, build up a moat for you as a creator. And when I look at this, like I said, this took 17 hours of research and pre-production for each 17-minute episode. And that was the only reason why I didn't continue on with it, because it was just too time consuming. I had a big client at the time in London, and I was doing a lot of their production and creative strategy and all of this stuff, plus developing and all manner of things. So I just didn't have the time to do the production by myself. Now I've got the systems that I built for the past 2 years. So now I can do it. And I was doing some pre-production earlier and just prepping the shots, getting everything right, getting the new set correct. And I was just excited, man, testing out my new teleprompter, which you can see here. Super cool. Like, like I can't believe sometimes the things that I've built into this software. But yeah, this is great. Like this is actually great. You can set the time, got your script coming up. So all of that good stuff, right? But formats is pretty much like the thing that I think a lot of YouTubers should be focusing on. And this is what you'll see with this format, this news show. So it's a creator economy news show. Think of Bloomberg Business meets SNL meets BoJack Horseman, right? Those are like my inspirations for it. And a bit of Arrested Development. These are some of the influences. But I'm really happy about this show. I intend to do 2 episodes a week, Monday and Friday. So it'll be the same time. It'll be 6 p.m. Eastern. So US, New York time. That's when the episodes will come out, 6 p.m. Eastern. And the reason being, one, when I hit the US demographic, and two, gives me enough chance to crank out maybe some last minute shots or last minute editing to stay on track. So it's going to give me a real, I would say, challenge to one, research a lot of this stuff because I write the script from top to bottom. Okay. So it's fully scripted show. There is no freestyle. Sometimes a few words, but I rarely go off because there's jokes and there's research and it's all crafted together, right? But it's a format. And for the case in point of this particular stream, that's where I think you're gonna win on your YouTube. So at the minute, my formats, right? I've bottled them down to this. I've got my news show, that's one format. I've got my daily, like 10 to 20 minute vlog direct to camera, right? That's another format. What else I got on here? I've got my shorts, that's one format. Um, and that's pretty much it. I've done other things on the channel. Obviously, we're 140 something videos deep, 143 videos. But for me, I think those two formats kind of go hand in hand and it works for me, right? I can just freestyle off the top of the dome on a specific subject. And they are actually, the shorts, for example, now are creating ideas for the long forms. So I did this short today, and the idea was you're a rookie YouTuber, including me, right? And I'm basically saying it can't get worse than this. Like for me, as I said in the short or in the video, from doing other things in life and having some success, then coming into YouTube, education, guru space, it's humbling when people just don't think that you are who you are. But I was used to that in music, right? People used to think I was pretty rubbish. And then they'd see me perform and they'd be like, oh my gosh, right? Because naturally they just think you're not going to be good because there's a lot of musicians who are not that great. But I'm a musician, pianist, drummer, songwriter, producer, the whole 9 yards, rapper, recording artist, singer, all of that. So I take pride in my work and presentation in all the things that I'm doing. Hence why I like to have my stream set up. I don't like janky things, good lighting, good audio. Like these are just paramount things. But that's one format. So the short then provided the idea for the long form, which was a 10-minute, expanding on that. And then I've got my new show, which is where I'm actually going to do most of my marketing. So another thing with this show, which you'll see, and I've been saying this for a good few years, at least 4 years. I've been saying, actually not 4 years, since 23, about 3 years. I've been saying, look, most of the ads that we come across on, let me switch camera. Most of the ads that we come across on YouTube tend to be like so boring. And what I mean by that is there's many ways how you can actually do a sponsored ad read and make it cool. So if you do research and just look up old adverts from like the 90s and 2000s, you might be too young to know or might be old enough to know about the Budweiser one, like, what's up? Like, that is like a legendary advert commercial. And it was just so good. Like, people was like, oh man, I can't wait to see that. There was ones with the World Cup with the Brazilian footballers. I remember these, like with Kaká and Ronaldinho and Danielson and all the Ronaldo, all these sick players. and it was for Nike, and they're in the da 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 right? They're in the airport doing all these sick Brazilian football tricks, and these were the adverts that actually got your attention. But for some reason, in a platform or on a platform where it's full of creators, I just don't understand why people don't put more effort into the ads. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a few people that I see. Gork's art, he's really sick with it. Like, he's just sick with his videos, full stop. If you want to look for effort, let me just search for him because I have to plug this guy. He's not sponsored. I just like him um, and what he does. But just look. If you get chance, sorry, been a long day. If you get chance, check out his videos. And he doesn't like crank out videos all the time. But when he does, it is unreal, man. It is unreal. And his integrations with ads, like he might get a sponsor from like a computer company, for example, but it's weaved into the actual video itself. It's like it becomes the video. So the whole video is based around how can he put in the sponsor. But for example, in the Lenovo, I remember it, that was like the theme of the whole video. So it didn't seem like an ad. And I just think you can do things better, basically. So check out Gorgs. He's really good at that. Um, but yeah, it's like it's a format, right? That's what we're talking about, formats. So I'm gonna do a lot of my marketing for Colossian, my other software programs, products, my watches, everything that I sell in my business. That is where it's going to get marketed. So the idea behind the show was like I said, Bloomberg Business, um, for the creative economy, but with a creative twist. And having a format allows you to just repeat the content or to repeat the style time and time again. All you have to do is fill in the blanks, which is the format, which is what I'm going to show you in this video. So let's lock in here. Let me switch screens. Ooh, got my scenes going, man. Feeling very professional today after this long day, man. It's very hard, bro. I'll be honest. You probably hear my voice doing these long form videos every day. I have to take 2 days off. So I think Saturday, Sunday, I cannot be streaming. Maybe Saturday and take Sunday off, but it's difficult, man. And I think doing the streams late in the day for me might be cool for you in the US, but I'm like already done video. It's been a long day. My voice has been worked. So it gets hard, man, which, I'm gonna have to fight through that. Stop whining and moaning. Anywho, so let's go. And for Colossian, I'll put the links in the description. You can sign up, join our community, right? We've got a full-fledged community within the software, which is sick. But today we're talking about format. So in Colossian, let me just show you the route so you know where to go once you have it. So you go to Content OS, then you go to your idea bank. This is where the ideation happens, right? Then you go to formats. And then once you're in format, you've got a few sections, 5 sections to be precise. So format library, this is where you're going to save them. So I've got Colossian markets, I've got my driving foreigns, which I'm working on a new format because I've done my first 13 videos, but I really want to lock in a solid format for the show and make it a show. So that's the other show and channel that I'm producing at the same time. Very difficult, very challenging. Do I know how I'm going to do it? No, but we'll find a way. So that's your library. Then you got your format builder. Okay, so this is where you add in your segments, and I'll show you in my, I don't want to leak my Colossian show format because I want you to see it for the first time. But we'll do. In fact, I'll probably look at it with you. Why not? But we're leaking the secret sauce, man. But that's fine. I'll show it. And then this is where you actually can write your script. So in Colossian, you've got 2 ways how you can write scripts. One is based off of like a format, which is what I'm showing you, which is mainly for like, I would say scripted or like regimented like show formats. Again, I keep saying format. Whereas with the other type of scripting, that's like YouTube ideas, that's like the 3 act structure. So you'll see it looks slightly different because it's wired around like YouTube writing. Okay, so you got your hook, we've got act 1, act 2, act 3, to take you through the structure of the video, select your idea, and then you write. Whereas I wanted to separate the two because they are two different writing styles. Okay, so my format would be very different to a normal YouTube video, like education, and this is what I did. And if you're looking to do this, then click the link, right? It's not that type of writing. So this is fully scripted. Um, and you'll see here, once you load up your script, I'm working on season 2 as we speak. And these are all my different segments, right? So I've got headlines. It's a news show, right? Top stories, market movers, market insights, ad. So you see what I'm doing here, just like how we did we've had with television. You can format, and this is how people produce shows. Okay, so this is like proper stuff. You got your ad placement, so you already know where it's gonna go. So now, because I'm doing it in a formatted way, I can craft the ad in the best way that suits the show and is innovative and fresh. Whereas a lot of the ad reads that you hear is literally just people saying, hi, today's sponsor is, I can kind of like almost remember a lot of them because they're all pretty much the same. And I do think the brands probably tell them, you must say these lines. That's the only reason why it must sound so generic to me. Or people, creators are just used to doing it that way because everyone else does. But they say something like, and today's sponsor is VPN Reader. And if you're looking to get a VPN and you don't want to get your work hacked and blah, 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 use VPN. And if you click the link, you know what I mean? Like, you've heard these ads all the time. They're so generic. So what I do with this show specifically is I use writing to like really craft a cool integrated ad. So my goal is to make it entertaining first, but also to not make it feel like an ad. Okay. So there's a bit of acting that I do in it, and it allows me to express myself in that manner as a creative, but I make sure that it's entertaining. So we get the ad and it maybe only 30 seconds, right? I'm not trying to do these 1 minute ad reads. I think you can make 30 seconds feel like a minute, but it be banging. So the little skits and scenes that I do, it's to get people to remember the product, right? So what I do as even as a premium member or user of YouTube, when I watch channels and creators and the ad comes on, and if it's something I don't like or don't want, immediately I just arrow, 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 skip, 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 because I just don't want to hear it. I'm like, I don't want the ad, but I get it that you've got to insert the ad because that's how you get paid. But if they made the ad good, I would watch it even if I'm not buying it. And then still, I might be open to buying whatever it is that they're offering if the ad was good. But if as soon as I hear, and today's sponsor is, I'm like, oh, you've lost me, bro. You've actually lost me. Because think about this. Here's something to chew on. With television, anytime you see an ad, do they ever say, and today's sponsor of our TV program is Lenore washing up powder? They don't say that. They just do the ad. On Netflix, they have ad accounts, they have non-ad accounts. But even still, when you get an ad, do they announce the ad or do you just get the ad? You know what I'm trying to say? It's like you don't. I should have put this on LinkedIn. Never mind. You don't get like this announcement. And today's sponsor, which I understand like the rules, of ads, right? You have to say this is an ad, but you can still say it's an ad or put a visual on the screen that shows that it's an ad. but not do the whole, and today's sponsor is blah, blah, blah. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and I'll be honest, when I start getting brand deals offered on this channel, I'm going to be very selective. But because I have a format, it's easy for me to add in an ad quite easily. Because look, we've got one ad placement there, we've got the second one here. So I'm not blasting the whole show with ads. I don't think that's cool. But I've got a minute's worth of ads in a 70-minute show. And they're spaced out and they're done with taste. So I actually am making a conscious effort. I'm making a conscious effort to ensure that people really like the ad. Mind boggling, right? Well, Santino, how are you doing that? It's called writing. It's called format. And I'm telling you, right? Remember where you heard it first. Remember where you heard it first. If you lock in on a format on your channel, your growth is going to be crazy going into 2027. So I'm looking at this like what? September, October, November, December, 24 weeks left, right? 24 weeks. I'm doing 2 episodes a week. That's 48 episodes. Yeah, 48 episodes I can do for the rest of, that's like a few seasons. That's actually a few seasons. So if I do, keep it to what it is standard ways, 12, 24, yeah. I think I'll do 12 episodes per season. I've got 4 seasons worth of Colossian Markets to come, plus the season that, or the pilot season, which can't really count, but 4 full seasons of this new show with a format. That's 48 episodes, 48 videos of this format on this channel by the end of the year. So I look at that as a solid foundation for a channel, because depending on what it is that you do on your channel, and I think the format, can be applied to other areas too. But depending on what it is that you do and talk about, like, you could still make a format that makes you win. And then you don't have to keep thinking of what video do I have to do, because I think that's the reason why a lot of creators get burned out. Let me put this on LinkedIn real quick. Yeah, I think that is a lot of the reason why creators get burned out. And they get burned out because they don't have a format. Simple. They do not have a format. Something that is repeatable. Live on YouTube. Live on YouTube, talking about formats for your channel. Boom, another one. Production's on point. Gas. So yeah, they get burnt out because they don't have a format. Every day, every week, they're thinking, what video do I do? What do I do? With this, I don't have to think about it. And that was what was quite enjoying for me, to just lock in on the writing and really hone in the craft. But then I got to hone in on the craft on the writing, and I've got to deliver the script. So not only is just a format, then I've got to deliver it, I've got to write it, I've got to perform it, I've got to make sure that the lines come up. And I was, watching back the tape on the first pilot and the first season. I was watching that this morning for my research. And I was like, okay, there's times where I can see I was recording it where I was tired, for sure. If I'm traveling to London and working with a client and doing all code, like late nights, I could just tell from watching myself on the video. There was times when I filmed that where I wasn't 100%. And it does show, especially in a format like this, that, I wasn't 100, which I will be tweaking and making sure that I'm at 100 when I record this, because you don't want the lines to go to waste, right? Think of like SNL, they do these live shows every day, right? Live show every day. and they're making sure that they perform so they get the laughs and it hits. So it will push you to actually deliver. And again, it don't have to be fully scripted. You could have like your format laid out like this, right? You could have it all laid out, and it could just be notes, because your notes could be your format. You might not want to do fully scripted. I'm just saying for this new show, it is a scripted show because it's right. It's written, it's comedic, etc. There's research in there, so there's no way I can just freestyle that and it be good, right? It'll be just like a live podcast, which is not what I'm doing. And more importantly, I don't see many channels. I've seen a few, but I don't see a lot who are mainstream who are doing this level of production. And if things are moving towards, which not even moving towards, they are now on television, right? I'm making stuff, as you can see from the thumbnails, that if someone sees this on a big screen, they're gonna be like, "Oh, cool, what's that?" I'm gonna click that, right? So it has to look good on a TV. And with a format, especially with a new show, I think it's gonna look and feel really well. And it was cool when I had these on previously, right? Um, it just works because it's a tried and tested format. So going back to format library, so I've shown you like the general gist of the formats, right? Then you can proofread it, of course. So once you're ready, you can actually go through it, start tweaking. So look, it shows you your original, then it shows you your revised. Um, Camera's still good. Yeah, it shows you your revised version as well. And you got proofread notes. Like, so again, if you're working with a team and someone's proofreading it, it's just a very, very slick system. I don't know what else to tell you. It just makes your job easier, to be honest. Then once you're in gallery, you can open your script and you can actually go through it. So you've got all the steps, then you can email it to yourself. So it's a workflow system, right? Again, designed for solopreneurs, solo creators. But if you have a team, everybody can make use of this. Then once you've got your format, as I've said, we now have teleprompter, newest feature to Colossian. This is sick. W's in the chat for the teleprompter tool. So as I said on stream yesterday, like if you wanted to buy one of these from Elgato, you're looking at £280 to maybe £500, or $700, maybe about $350 to about $700, something like that. That's your range. But now we've got teleprompter baked in. So you could put this on your own teleprompter if you wanted, because you can mirror it, display, and then just drag your screen onto there and it'll perform the same way. So for me, like I did find with the Elgato, it was trying to get it like custom to the style and everything. The settings just wasn't as broad, I would say. So because I've developed this, I can put in more settings if I want. So when you see it here, you can look, we've got, your eye line. So that line can be adjusted. You can adjust the speed, you can adjust the width, you can pause it, right? You got all of these different tools, man. All of these different tools. Space bar to restart. Like it's just cool, man. Like I don't know what to say. Like I get excited about stuff like this, obviously. But yeah, you got teleprompter. But with a format on your channel, let's get back to the point here. That's the tools. Teleprompter is the tool to then bring the format to life. So I'm going to be using this in season 2. So we've gone from one season of Elgato, shout out to them, but now all Colossian across the board, right? But I believe like having a format is going to help you win massive. It's going to help you win massive. And for many creators who get burned out or struggle with ideas, like if you can just figure out a winning format, you could have a hit on your hands. Like I'll be honest with you, 48 episodes. Yeah, 48 episodes, man. I know December will probably be busy. I'll have to, you know, bank a few additional episodes just to cover those holiday breaks, but or any, up and coming things that might pop up. But I need to stick to that schedule. That's my goal. I'm like, I need to stick to the Monday, Friday slot. So then I got 2 episodes, episodic content coming out each week. Now, the only thing with that as a new show, doing that many means more research. And then it's writing. So I could be doing 2 days worth of research flat out, basically. Um, and then maybe 2 days of production to crank out those 2 episodes each week. But because there's so much happening in the world, especially in technology, especially this time of the year, that's why I'm happy that it's coming out. We've got GTA 6 is coming. There's some PlayStation games apparently. There is the new iPhones, the new Apple products. So there's a lot happening at this juncture, post summer, going into the autumn season. But your format, that's a game changer, gang. That is a game changer. And look at it this way: you've got multiple ways to create this. Could be an 8-minute format, could be a 7-minute format, could be a 10-minute format. Just like a structure that you can stick to and crank out more videos. Like imagine if you was like, oh man, I think I could do this format every day. Then do it. As I told you, for me, I'm using like my channel as my distribution platform for my business, right? For Colossian and Santino Brillant and the other tech products. But I'm looking at it differently now from a standpoint of a channel historically has multiple shows on the one channel. It isn't just one thing on that channel. And I think that's how a lot of creators, myself included, previously was kind of convinced with YouTube. And what people have started to do now is start a secondary channel, which in theory sounds good. But if they just had formats, then they could just put them all on the same channel. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I get it, people are doing it for the analytics, but I think if they condition their audience to pretty much understand, like, this is a different format. So it's the same channel, same creator, just different format. And people will probably get involved with it. So that's the luxury of having a invisible channel almost, to start to craft all of these things. So I've got all of my back end pause set up. I've got my community ready. So I'm ready for like 100K subscribers, gang. Like for real, I am ready to rock and roll. I've got my systems in place for production. I've got my attribution, meaning I've got all of my tracking available. So I can track every single video, which is an admin task within itself, but to link every single YouTube video that I put out with its own tracking link. So then I can check the performance, how many clicks, how much revenue, the conversion rate. And then this is all just on autopilot. Do you know what I mean? I've got other ways for me to capture attention, right? I've got social proof. I've got credits that I've worked on. If you're a creator, like these are the things that you want to actually showcase your work. Like, what did you do? What was your role on this video? Not here's a link and just a random photo. Like, we've got to get more professional in the creator economy. It's too rough around the edges right now. And it's because it's early, I get it. So I'm showcasing my work as a professional, right? I got my white paper, which is Colossian. Colossian has acquired Alfina now, which is going to be another hype. And I cannot even go into detail on every stream because there's so many moving parts to my business anyway, of a software, exit math. If you want to build and sell your business, you need to have that all lined up, bro. You've got to have it lined up, and we can track that as well. And there's all of these things, right? I am tempted to do, oops, I need to fix that link. I am tempted to do a 6-hour course, to be honest. Just like really thought out. And I've done like an hour one before in the past. I've written books, like I've said. But from a video standpoint on YouTube, like 4 to 6 hour video, that's props, like immediate props. Watch time is fantastic. Respect, credibility. It shows like your professionalism and that you can actually deliver that kind of work. Um, and because I do these streams every day now, I average an hour easy, and I've done this for years, right? Doing webinars, doing live stream contentathons, right? This is kind of like what I'm doing now. I'm getting a little flashback, and it's, like I said, easy once you have systems in place. The only restriction I have is how long can my voice hold out? Yapping by myself, no gaps. With a podcaster, you've got gaps. You're not always yapping. But when you're solo streaming for hours and then recording and producing, is a lot of work, gang. It's a lot of work. But yet, you want to be able to essentially have all your things and situation in place ready. And as I was saying, if you condition your audience to, you know, get to grips with your format, then it's a win-win, really. You cannot really lose. So I've taken the liberty of, like I said, building all of this stuff for the past few years, man, relentlessly, fine-tuning. Even when you look on the first season of Colossian Markets, you'll see like the products in my ads and what they were called. It was brilliant business, brilliant video. All of these things have evolved into Colossian. So this is like my social proof, I guess, for the software that I've made. It's like I've taken them from Apple, iPad, iOS, Mac OS apps into this powerful system, which Brilliant Video is essentially Idea Bank, right? Brilliant Video is essentially Idea Bank. All of this stuff was in Brilliant Video. Then it got boosted. We got more things. Tile challenge, new projection, new formats, new teleprompter, new all of these additional tools, podcast guest lists. I did get some of these in the macOS version of it before I phased it out. You know, camera shot list, like really great for thumbnail production as well. Like, look at these shots. These are filmic shots. That's gonna get clicks immediately because it's a filmic shot. Do you know what I mean? So all these tools kind of just built in and grew. Like, so I think from Brilliant Business, we've got Lydia now, which is a full CRM revenue intelligence system. So that's a full standalone software by itself for sales. Exit Math, that's for your business operation. So these are just the additional tools that I've actually developed over the years that have, like I said, grown. You've got Sensibills for your personal finance, investment management, investment education, personal finance education, property education, all built into it. So I've been building these tools as like a stack. I've got a trading software as well, which I'm making some tweaks to that one. But yeah, like we've got tools. We've got tools for days. But that'll be a different stream. But for this stream, when we're talking about formats, I think you're gonna win tremendously if you can come up with a great format. All you have to do is think about all of your top favorite shows that you love and watch. Some of mine, House of Cards, love that. Billions. I might even watch some of that tonight to unwind, you know, gets the creative juices flowing. But yeah, some of those shows that inspire you, Friends, right? That's a format, great format. Lord of the Rings is a film. But still a different type of format. But I'm talking about repeated episodic content, right? That's where you get in this format setup, and you can really crush it on YouTube for real. You can actually crush it. So I've given you the tools. I'm showing you, and I'll probably do more streams on this as well because I think this is a good topic, and I'll probably break down like, you know, the Colossian Market show as well and explain like why and how you could actually tastefully let me say, tastefully add your ads without them sounding like some boring ad read. Like, we don't want that. We have enough of that. And to be honest, from what I hear on the YouTube grapevine, the brands are starting to really clamp down on basically what they need to get, revenue. It cannot just be, oh, I'm going to get you in front of X amount of people and get you a certain amount of clicks. They want to know conversions. And this is the thing with, again, Colossian, I will plug this, because you have the ability, right? You have the ability to track and measure. Like, this is what a brand actually wants to know. Imagine if you said, hey, don't worry about attribution. I can create all the links and I can track it every single day in my own software. So you create the link and then that's in your system. So that takes the stress off of the brand. They might give you a link, of course, because they want to track it as well. But I'm just saying it's an additional option that you can actually say to them and say, hey, look, this is what's going on, because I doubt they'll have something like this for sure. They might have some generic off the shelf software, but they definitely do not have this. And if they did see this, they'd be like, we want that. So if you are a brand and you want the right tools to speak to your creators, then hit me up. Colossian is for you. But I look at this and I'm like, this tells me everything I need to know. Clicks, conversions, revenue, conversion rate, last click. That's all you need to know. Then we go deeper and we go to our YouTube and then we start syncing. Let's refresh that. We start to really sync all of these videos with their own attribution link. See? So now I could put a link to this. I haven't done this yet because I've got 143, probably not all of them, but I then now need to put out all the attribution links, the new ones, for all of these videos. So then over time, I can see which videos brought me the most money, which had the most impact. That's useful in terms of doing more content for conversion for your business, right? So this is how you work these kind of things. This is how it works. But I will be doing a stream specifically on money. So it will be a combination of measure and money. Reach, basic things, DMs, calendar, funnels. I'll be doing more streams on these as well. But measure, which is link tracking, and then all your analytics, and then the money side of things, which still haven't even got to this, right? Store, you got physical, digital products, all built into this that you can sell and make money from. So yeah, nothing's touching this. I'm sorry. I'm saying it real calm. Nothing is touching Colossian. For creator operating softwares, for YouTube businesses, nothing. Sorry. And you can use it and prove it. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. But it's available for you as well. Just saying. So, to summarize, lock in on a format and get you some episodic content that can, one, boost your watch time. Because if you've got a formatted show where it just flows, there's no drop off points, right? It's been engineered with all the writing, and I advise you do it script writing. People might say, I don't want to do scripted. I'm not good at well, you got to get good at something, right? But if you can get good at script writing and then delivering the script, you're off to the races. No drop off, an engineered piece of content that is still entertaining, enjoyable, and educational, you're gonna win. And you'll see with this show, like, it's 17 minutes, but there's so much in there. You don't even feel, by the time you finish, it's like, oh, it's finished already. You know what I mean? And I've put out all the episodes because it's the old season. Um, I want people to binge this, right? So once they watch one episode, I want them to watch the next one. So they coming out at 10:30, 11, 11:30, 11:58, and 1 a.m. GMT. So from what 5:30 Eastern, each episode will be coming out every half an hour, which I think is cool. Then you get a vibe of the show. And then next week, when the first episode of season 2 drops, excuse me, we're off to the races. We're off to the races. And that's the power of having a formatted show on YouTube. And it is the number one streaming platform. So why would you not make streaming formatted type content? It only makes sense. I think there's only so much like podcasting and how can I put it? There's only so much like off the cuff podcasting you can actually watch, even as a business owner, as a creator, because most of the stuff tends to just be people's perspective, right? It's just their takes on certain things, their experience, whatever. But you're like embracing a lot of personalities every time you listen to these podcasts. And I've started to think about this quite a bit, naturally, where I'm like, I could be working on my own show. Like, I don't have the time to be watching and listening to the same kind of stuff all over again. It's like that's their job, that's their brand, that's their podcast, right? They're distributing to their viewers. So you have to do the same. So for me, I'm like, I need to be working on season 2. I got 12 episodes to write, produce, record, and edit. I'll probably take, I don't know, I don't even know if I could take a break. Probably won't have a break from the show for the rest of 2026. Unless I do it like actual seasons where I take a break, maybe take 2 weeks to just recoup in between a season. I think that's fair. So, yes, I could bang out 48 episodes, but it's Christmas. That's basically December is cooked for productivity um, and whatever else that pops up in between. But it's safe to say I could at least do 24 episodes in 48 weeks. So that's 2 seasons. And that is how, produced shows, if you will, are done. It's not like any of your favorite shows on Netflix. It's not back to back seasons like every week. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's time that needs to be done for research, production, for the actors to rest, and all of this stuff. The team, that's just how it is. Well, obviously YouTube, we naturally think, oh, we have to do this, this, this. And for this formatted show, for sure, it will just fall off the cliff if it's just rushed, and it has to be done properly. Hence why I've got my multi-format strategy on my channel. So I want to be pulling audiences for my creator economy show with Colossia Markets. I want to be doing my general. I don't even know what I'm calling it at the moment. It's a little bit philosopher's stone. It's a little bit education, YouTube growth, because I am keeping it on like topic. And then I've got my streams. How could I forget? That was my other format. This is where I can go deeper on topics. I can just be a bit more relaxed, a little bit more rough around the edges, the ums and ahs and thoughts and body movement, all of that stuff, right? The interaction with the chat once we get motion and the chat is popping. So I look at this as like my practice time. This is practice time for me, right? It's Friday. I'm not expecting, tons and tons of people popping in because it's the weekend pretty much. But use this time. Like I said in my video before, it cannot get any worse than this. When you're a small channel, use it wisely. Like build your foundations so you're prepared for the increase. You're prepared for the abundance. Because when it hits, when you get 500 comments on a video, it's going to take you a while. And believe me, I know because I've gone viral on TikTok. I got about 12,000 followers on my automotive channel on there. And prior to that, it was finance content. and I've done over 12 million views on my videos. And I remember it vividly, like my phone. I had to charge my phone like 3 times in the day because the comments were just coming in, and I'm like responding in real time, like doing this kind of stuff. That's why people can't always respond. But it's good to respond because people feel seen, and that's how you actually build a community, right? So, for example, I could be saying, I might not be able to respond to your all the comments on YouTube, but if you're in the community, we have multiple people who are going back and forth and actual people in the business of YouTube, right? So you can get a deeper, response there, safer environment, it's not just open to the public. But with the YouTube, definitely there's always gold in the comment section. I've said this for years. So you can respond to every comment, even if it takes you a few days, do it. Just do it. They'll get to a point where the video kind of peaks and you're not really going to get much more comments unless the video takes off again. But for the most part, just do it, right? Just do it. Do your best. And then once you scale your business, then you can actually bring people in who can actually do that. I personally don't like to outsource those personal touch things. Um, Hence why I built a lot of systems so I can manage my workflow as easy as possible. There's no spreadsheets here. There's no Google Drive. There's none of that, right? If I want thumbnails, it's in here. If I want my data, it's in here. Audience analytics is in here. If I want my email exports, it's in here. Got all my emails. If I want to import emails, I can do that here. Read all my analytics, it's here. Everything's here. Trust score, how many points. So again, it's a game, gang. It's a game. So now let's refresh our trust score. See what we're rocking with at the moment. So 1,932 trust minutes on YouTube. Boom, there you go. My goal is 600,000 minutes, which is 10,000 hours of trust minutes on YouTube. So we got a long way to go. 89% of that is coming from Intelligent Unk, and 11% is coming from my other channel, Driving Foreigns. For cars enthusiasts, if you like cars, make sure you check that out. But you see, like these tools, I can live stream and talk to you guys and educate you and share what I've been building that can help you, all because it's made easy within one place. So I'm gonna wrap up here. I think it was a decent stream, W stream. But the takeaway is start working on your format, man, because this 8,000 watch hours, I'm really doing my best to hit that before the end of this year. I'm pushing for 100,000 subs this year. I've heard it happen. Why can't it happen with me? I've got my show now. I just have to lock in, make it good, and do the work. Just do the work, man. Utilize shorts, utilize live stream, a long form, and a formatted show. That's 4 formats on your channel. That's enough to cover multiple interests within the same niche. Not like you getting spread out all over the place. It's 4 touch points. Shorts get you people who are just like looking and want that bite-sized information. Your 10 to 20 minute long form every day if you can. That's great. Building that trust, building that relationship. Your streaming allows you to go longer. Hour episodes now. So I'm already up to an hour episode with the stream. So imagine now if I make my streams like a format, it could be another style. So when it comes to doing this 6-hour course, I could be lazy and just whip together like my streams, but the professionals don't do that. They actually make it good. And that's what I would do. I would map it out. I would do that. And and then I've got my formatted show. 70 minutes. So you see what I'm doing there? It's my hedge. I've got 1 minute, I've got 70 minutes, I've got 10 to 20 minutes, and then I've got an hour all on one channel. This is the power of systems and having formats. So Appreciate you watching. If you're watching on replay, make sure you leave a comment. I'll put links in the description to Colossian. You can sign up today. And yeah, I'll look forward to seeing you in the community. So see you to maybe not tomorrow, actually, because yes, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. Peace.